We slept back on this wheat easement next to the road again. One last night, and we're gonna move on this morning, leaving Rouge, Oregon, and hopefully we'll enter Jacksonville today or maybe tomorrow. Oh, nice sleeping here. The sheep get a good graze on all the wild prickly lettuce and all the wild wheat heads. Wild wheat heads. Man, JC is producing like almost 50% more milkings. I didn't even finish her milk from last night because she gave me a half a bottle just in her last milking of the night. Last night I milk her 3 times a day. Usually she gives me like a third of a bottle. It usually makes a whole bottle a day. It gives me like a quarter of a gallon a day. But since we slept in this wheat field the other night, she was producing like a half a bottle each milking. So she produced over a quart of milk yesterday. It's still sweet. It hasn't soured yet. Man, processing these wild sweet peas is even easier than it's easier to forage and easier to process. All you gotta do is pick them when they're already dry, but before they snap open and spring open like this and throw their seeds everywhere, you just throw them in a bag. Keep the bag on the outside of your pack boxes so they continue to dry out and they'll spring open, and the most you have to do is go through and it's that easy. Just go through and pick out. Most of them spring the seeds off entirely, and you can do the entire processing from within your mesh bag. Whereas the wild wheat, you have to dry out and lay out on your bed mat, your ground cloth, and thresh, and then winnow away, and then drop in water so that the seeds will fall to the bottom and the chaff will rise to the top, and then you gotta skim off that, and then pour off the water that has the little bits of chaff left in it. So yeah, these peas are frickin', and they're way more flavorful than the wheat too. I'm wondering if it's possible to make like bread out of primarily this pea flour. I'm about to find out today. The whole bottom of this bag is full of these peas that snapped open and fell to the bottom. I was just collecting wheat from right here, and some guy in a big red truck. He said this is private property from the road to the fence, and asked me to leave. I questioned that. I thought this was easement, road easement. He said he insisted that this is private property too. He doesn't want us to do brush fire management or feeding ourselves. Yay! We found Rouge Library. Doesn't open for another 3 hours. It's like 10 a.m. We don't open till 1. We're behind the library now. I'm making some food. And Pam, the camp manager, the park manager, she's also the camp host for the camping grounds at that Cantrell Park that we just left yesterday.
She was super awesome. She had a garden. She gave us a squash or something. She didn't know what it was. Maybe you guys know. And she gave me a bunch of basil and gave me a little bag of garlic from a garden. Super cool park managers. And then this morning I picked some milkweed pods. Got the seeds here, and the fibers are still tender, so those will cook up nice. And I ground up a bunch of these beautiful sweet pea pods, sweet pea seeds, into like a flour. I got solar baked squash with milkweed pods, basil, Pam's basil and Pam's garlic. Thank you, Pam. And thank you for the squash. This is her squash too. Topped with foraged amaranth seed. Thank you, Pam. Now it's clear to drop in the bread. There, now I still have some sourdough left to inoculate the next batch of flour that I grind up and put in there. And I purposefully put the bread in there with this whisk so that it would be all cracked out and there would be more crunchy surface layer, because I really like the crunchy surface layer crust. Got milkweed pods and squash that the park manager gave me back at Cantrell Park. I got a layer of the sweet pea flour in the middle, so I laid down the milk pods and then a little bit of the squash, and then did a layer on top of all that with the sweet pea flour, and then I put another layer of squash on top of that, and basil in the middle also, and garlic in the middle. Thank you. Wow. That is so good. The milkweed fibers are a little on the old side. They're like not breaking down fully. Got to catch them really young and bite off the seeds. Yeah, the seeds are still good. That sweet pea layer in there, the sweet pea flour layer in there is gives it kind of like a gratin, some kind of like crusty texture in there, which is awesome because otherwise it'd just be nothing but squishiness. That's amazing. Can't taste the basil at all, and I thought I'd put too much of it on. And I made some wild honey Dijon mustard yesterday using foraged peppergrass seeds and foraged celery seed and foraged rosemary and honey. Somebody gave me some honey, a bee farmer. Oh, and my sheep's soured milk. That's the base. That's so interesting. It's really soft. I thought it was gonna be denser. Sourdough really fluffed it up. It's so good. Wild honey Dijon mustard on wild sweet pea and wild wheat bread. Yeah. Thank you for your milk, JC. Thank you, Beef Farmer, for the honey yesterday. Thank you, Wild and Sweet Peas. Thank you, Wild Wheat. Thank you, Portable Handheld Grain Grinder. You guys are all awesome. Thank you, Solar Oven. Thank you, God. Thank you, goodness. Thank you, Goddess. It's all the same. Thank you. Yay, ready to milk. She came over. She's got a bunch of milk. Good girl. Good girl. Thank you, JC. Yeah. What a good sheep. Yeah. Library's been open for a good hour now. I wonder what kind of, how many kids were just watching me milk her up against the window. He's a good sheep. Thank you, JC. Yeah, thank you for your milk. Not as much as the last several milkings, since we've been staying in that easement on the side of the road that had wild wheat growing on it. But I haven't been grazing you guys during the middle of the day nearly as well, so it's kind of just been equaling out, sleeping there. So we'll have to graze you better during the middle of the day now. Well, now we're walking again. We were spending all that time up in that park, Cantrell Park, that didn't have anything to graze on. No, you can't go back there. There's no spot back there. If you want to go back there, I'll make space for you. Okay. There you go. You want to go back there? Is that enough space for you? You can go back here? You want to go back there? She likes corners. Is that good? Good girl, my JC. Funny face sheep. What a cute yawn. You're a good sheep. Good sheep. Yeah.